Acting for beginners. Welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Lorenzo from the Coach MC Studio. I'm truly pumped that you guys are joining in today's video because we're gonna talk about how to build an acting career from scratch with no experience whatsoever. By popular demand, this is the video you've been all asking for. So we're all beginners at a certain stage of our lives, right? We need to start somewhere. In this video, I'm gonna show you where to start, how to start, and what to do, how to build up your career, your acting experience, where to train, and how to solidify and fortify your standing so you can become a working actor, a pro, and get a foot into the door of entertainment industry, to be part of magnificent movies, to display all of your abilities, and to really have fun and enjoying the process every time you get called to action when it's time to audition. Stick with me till the end, by the way, because I got a little bonus tip for you guys. Actually, 2 bonus tips for you guys. Let's see what's cooking. You know, today I'm in the mood of giving out bonus tips. So first of all, ask yourself this: what kind of movies you like to be in? Like, where do you see yourself? What kind of style do you want to play? What kind of actor do you like to be? More of an extrovert, more of a crazy beating up the place actor like Gary Oldman, or somebody who is playing way more reduced and minimal and simplistic like Clint Eastwood? Both very legendary, very impressive actors, right? Masters of their craft, but in so many different ways. So there are many different ways of interpreting, of playing a character in many different movies. And ask yourself this, just to start off. Later on you can pivot the whole plane, but first, like, where does this plane take me at first? Start small, like what is the movie you like to be in? What kind of role do you like to play in that movie? My dream always was to be Robin Hood, play Robin Hood. That was my dream role right from the start, like, because I saw this adventurous guy and I was slinging ropes and shooting arrows, being very handsome and full of funny things to say. Sort of an adventurous guy that I kind of loved this idea of being Robin Hood. And that was the type of character I had in mind right away for myself. Somebody who was funny, somebody who was strong and had some very cool fighting skills, and also like charming and able to kind of also talk his way out of situations and disguise himself and putting some costumes and makeup on and be a different character in the character. You get the idea. Robin Hood was my great legendary hero back then, and I always wanted to play that guy. And what is your legendary hero you want to play? What's your favorite character? What do you got in mind? Let's say you have no acting experience. Besides the urge of telling a story, there is nothing else. Whether you're starting in Europe or in the US or in Great Britain, in Australia, in Asia, the approach is pretty much the same. You can do many different things in the beginning. You should just be aware that once you go into a direction, kind of explore that direction before you give it up and then you start something new, right? Don't pick up too many things right away at the start, because that will just get you confused. Be conscious about what you're doing. I mean it like that. There are so many little mistakes that you can do that will cost you so much time, especially in the beginning, that are totally unnecessary. And I want you to avoid those mistakes. So first of all, make yourself acquainted with all the different types of trainings that there are. Because being an actor means that you need to train, right? You need to train your skills. Being an actor means that you need to start to understand who you are and what you can play, what you're great at, what you're good at, and what you're not so good at. In the beginning, really in the beginning, if you have no acting experience whatsoever, what do? You train. And where do you train? And this is quite fundamental, because whether you're in the US or in Australia or in Europe or in Canada, wherever, you know, you need to train. But where and how and why? And here's the thing, talking out of personal experience, I started a drama school. Even though I had a long career already with small roles and beautiful theater roles, I decided that I wanted to go to drama school on a daily basis because I needed some structure, some fundamental structure on how to deal with my insecurities, with my inconsistencies, instabilities, putting the product together in an efficient way inside of myself, understanding myself deeply, and also creating, of course, the necessity of creating some patterns that I can always rely on and replicate every time I get called to action. Till I got into drama school, everything I did was quite natural and spontaneous and instinctively. And of course, I started picking up some things about myself and about, you know, with the reflections I had with the directors on set and on stage, I started understanding a few deeper things about myself. But having a great teacher in drama school on a consistent basis telling you what to improve and what to do and what to leave out and when it's time to speak and when it's time to move, and starting understanding like all these little procedures, these mechanics inside of yourself, and having that habit of going somewhere on a constant basis, for me, that was really helpful. I left drama school after not even a year because I was hired from the theater world, and then it didn't make any sense anymore to go to drama school because I was working so much already. But at least that initial phase of, let's say, 6-7 months, that kind of helped me tremendously understand myself and my standing and be more self-aware of what I was projecting, of what I was sending, of what I was transmitting. Drama school is also important because you're part of a collective. You're part of a collective of people, a community, a little band of brothers and sisters that will come together every day, and you start knowing these people, you start observing them and reflecting with them and talking about, and there is this open critique session, and there is many exercises that you do together, interpreting and speech and all that, and that is beautiful all together because it kind of creates a community. There is a collective energy going on. You don't feel alone anymore, and you start also making friends in this industry, in this business, start creating the networks that are so fundamental to this. I mean, as much as your talent is important, your network system is important as well. Like, I would say even more important on a Richter scale, because it kind of, perpetuates you to the roles you wouldn't otherwise see or audition for, right? But that's on another paper. That's another sheet of paper. First of all, you discover you have talent and the urge of telling a story. And then you train yourself. To me, it was drama school. Then, of course, I visited a lot of different other workshops all over the world. In LA, in New York, I went to open theater classes and all that. But to me, drama school was fundamental because it was the same people that I could trust every day. I had this necessity of going there, waking up, taking a shower. So it started becoming habitual, it started becoming a ritual, it started becoming a natural, repetitive process, and my body, my muscle memory started picking up on that. So I could, over a long stretch of time, I could observe myself and my progress, my development, my evolution. I knew exactly how I was on day 1, on day 15, on day 30, and so on and so forth. And I had also my fellow colleagues, my other fellow students with me in the class, observing me and giving me critique, so I could reflect through them, and that was hugely important to me. Maybe you don't have a great drama school though in your city. Maybe you're, somewhere in the suburbs and you don't have the chance to go every day to a drama school. Maybe it's about the money. What I did as a side hustle, I was working at night, doing some bartender jobs at night so I can earn some little extra money and help my mama out to kind of pay for the school, and I was taking care of myself. But I was smashed at the weekends. I was totally exhausted because I would work also on the weekends and then go to drama school during the day, and maybe working also at night during the week. So for me, that was a very tough period, one of the best moments in my life, one of the best periods of my life. But maybe you don't have that. You don't have the possibility to go to any drama school because that will mean you have to move to a city and you don't feel you are prepared to do that, to make that great jump, to make that great leap. Take some online courses, take some online classes, start small with a coach, with a teacher in your city, with some open theater classes, with some open auditions. Maybe there's like a little casting office somewhere close to you. Go and visit that casting director's office, get some tips. Maybe you can, watch through an audition and start to pick up with some other actors, contact some other actors and start playing with them, start get acquainted with the literature, read some, phenomenal theater plays, some great movie plays, try to get down with script analysis, try to understand how a great screenplay is built. Start somewhere, but start. Unless you start, you won't know if you have the talent, if you have what it takes to make it in the entertainment industry, to blossom up as an actor, and to have your roots deep in the soil, deep in the ground, and standing there, and now you can start to grow and assemble for yourself and become taller and better in the process and learn. Drama school for me ultimately was a great way of expressing myself and getting to know myself better, and also to start having more self-esteem when I was called to action. But it could be also some great workshops. If you are in a big city and you don't feel like committing to drama school for a long time, because whether you don't have the resources or you just simply can't for any reason, then start with small workshops. Go to different teachers, try to pick up from each and every workshop what's essential to you, what's important to you. Kind of accurately study what kind of workshop this is. Is this something that is suited for you? Does it match what you are feeling you're great at already? Does that match like you're in a necessity of telling a story? Is it a workshop about something that you don't need? Like, accurately look out for something that matches your requirements in this very moment, and go there and exercise again and create networks again. Talk with the people, get to know other actors, other colleagues, other great teachers. Some of the roles I got, some of the auditions I got just came from those workshops, because I met somebody and he just right away said to me like, oh wow, you would be great for this and that role. I just read about this, or my agent kind of proposed that, but I'm not a match for that role. Maybe you should audition for it. And I did, and then I got the role. Things like that will happen once you dive in. So drama school, workshops, single coaching lessons, start to get online courses, watch some great videos by great actors, by great artists, by great directors telling how they did it. Do some script analysis, dive into the world of screenwriting, right? How is it built? How is a theater play built? What's essential to a theater play? What's essential to a screenplay? Where do I find myself? What is the part that I'm playing? Where can I blossom up? Where can I show what I got to sustain the creature of the author, whether it's a screenplay or a stage play, a theater play, right? Understand how you kind of manifest yourself through these exercises, through the habitual training, through, reflecting with some other colleagues and other students and fellow actors out there. And then you start to build up a momentum. I love to call it critical mass. It's the critical acting mass. It's the critical artistic mass that you feel building up, right? It's getting more and more. It's like pressure. And you feel like, now I'm feeling something. Now I feel like I'm getting more and more reliable. I can repeat it flawlessly. I can replicate it more and more. And it's easier for me to slip into that role, to dive into that role, to plunge into that different imagined life and getting back from it. Once you've laid a foundation that is strong, that you feel now you have like a critical mass that you can manipulate and work with. After a couple of months, you will already discover, this feels better and better. I feel more secure and secure. I got more power in my voice. I got more expression with my body. I've learned a few things in those workshops or at drama school. Then you can start with the second step, right? Because it's great to train, it's great to rehearse, it's great to exercise, it's great becoming a better actor, that's fundamental. And then you need to go and show yourself. People, they need to know that you are part of this industry. And usually you need two things to do that. You need some great headshots. You need some great pictures that are telling what you are about. Some great, natural looking, crisp pictures, great headshots. So the people that are in charge, like the casting director, the producer, the director, they will see right away what you are about, what kind of style you're about, what kind of persona you're about, what is stimulating you, what is your passion, what is emanating from you, what are you transmitting. They need to see that in a couple of pictures. They need to look at that set card at your portfolio and say, okay, I got a pretty good idea what this guy or this girl is all about. Let's see if she's got it. Let's call her to action. Let's give her the audition, right? And let's see, then we can take it from there. So you need some great headshots. And then of course you need representation. You need a manager, you need an agent, you need somebody else can call up to say, I need your actress by noon tomorrow, right? Send her my sides, right? And she better be on time. They need to call somebody. Because of course you can represent yourself, but that won't work. It just doesn't look professional and it's overwhelming for you. That's how a professional actor works. He has an agent, he has a manager, somebody else can call up. How do you get a manager? How do you get an agent? Once you have your headshots and once your training shows up on your resume and you've done some substantial training or even attended drama school, then you send this portfolio to an agent, to an agency, to a manager and wait for the response and send out hundreds of them and call them up afterwards and search for them on Facebook and connect with them on LinkedIn and show up whenever they got a meeting, an event, a festival, a big premiere, a debut of a great movie like a red carpet. Show up in all these places, create those networks, ask your colleagues, ask your other acting students, make sure to know who's in charge in this business, in this industry, in your area, in your region, in your city. Look out for them and contact them and send them your portfolio, send them your material, and constantly work until you get into an agency. You will get into an agency, don't worry. But being in an agency and having a headshot and a little resume, a little portfolio, doesn't mean you will get booked for the job or called to the audition or get any job whatsoever. You need to consistently and persistently work on yourself, on your development. Because I think the greatest tip of all these tips, if you're an actor or you want to be part of the acting experience and you want to build up an acting career, you need to behave like a pro. You need to behave like a working actor would behave. Get up early, do some workout, fix your breakfast, work on your monologue, work on your speech, work on your body, work on your expression, go to some workshops, go to some trainings, call up your manager, call up your agent, look out for jobs on internet. If there is an open casting call, look out for new directors, look out for the film academies, for the film studios, for the young filmmakers out there, for the young guns who are trying to produce their first feature, their first movie, their first short. Offer yourself, It's like, you're making a movie with no budget, I'm an actor with no budget. Let's work together and have fun, right? Produce stuff, get yourself into the mechanism, right? Behave like a working actor. That's how you become a working actor. With the mindset that you are already part of it, because as soon as you've decided to take classes, take headshots, and to offer yourself and to look out for representation, you're already part of the biz. Is it truly necessary to be an outstanding actor? Is it truly necessary to win an Oscar to be an outstanding actor and to be a recognized pro in your sector? I don't think so. I mean, it's a great aim, it's a great mission, it's a great goal to win an Oscar once in your life as an actor. Sure, that's a tremendous honor. By the way, you can check out my How to Win the Oscar video. Yeah, it's one of my older ones, but still, I think a very interesting video just to give you the mindset and what you need to achieve such ambitious goal. And of course, we need ambitious goals, Like I said, I always wanted to play Robin Hood. I always wanted to be part of a Star Wars movie. As a kid, I admired the original Star Wars movies, not the ones that were coming out now. The original Star Wars movies, they blew me away. I wanted to be part of that, right? And that kind of inspired me too of becoming an actor. And that is totally fine. I mean, that's how art works, right? You're standing in front of a great piece of art and say, I want to do that too. I feel inspired and enriched enough that I feel myself empowered enough that I can say to myself, like, I can replicate that. In a way, I can do this too. Do that too. And once you get your agent, once you start getting your auditions coming in and you're rolling out your self-tapes and all that, you will get a sense of, okay, where do I stand right now in this industry? And how can I make the next jump and the next jump? And how can I climb up that ladder slowly but steadily, part by part, piece by piece? And once I've created a substantial fundament and I get a pretty good idea of what I can play and what I'm great at, now I can start to add some new spices. I can take some dancing lessons, some ballet lessons. I can, dive deeper into my knowledge of my body, getting more athletic. Start with everything that might add up to that toolbox, everything that you want to be acquainted with, anything that you feel like I want to have that skill. I want to acquire that skill. I want to make myself richer in the process. And that's about getting rich, but getting richer yourself by all these various elements, disciplines, talents, and skills that you can learn. You become like a superpower yourself. It doesn't really matter if you get the big roles. It matters that you're constantly working on yourself. So you're ready once you get called for a big role, for a big audition that is truly important. Like a great pilot, something very expensive, or a huge project with a great director, somebody who really is looking for a character he can develop and work on with the actor, right? And build something magnificent. So then you are prepared. You're not preparing yourself once you get called to action. You get called to action because already you are prepared. The opportunity meets the preparation. It's not like that you are creating the preparation once the opportunity shows up. Then it's too late. You have to be ready for that. So once you have that substantial fundament, learn other skills. Try to add something else to your toolbox, to your craftsmanship, whether it's playing a new instrument, start to sing, contemporary singing or classical singing, opera singing, whatever. or something more like weapon combat, something more athletic, something more body oriented, like shooting, like having great skills with different weapons, fencing, sword, all that. That shows up on your portfolio, on your resume. It's like, wow, he's got some skills. That actress is quite impressive. She's trained in so many different things. She has so many different abilities and skills and instruments. I'm sure she is a great fit for that project. Because besides of learning all these different things, that is truly fun and fundamental, and it's great because, hey, I mean, think about it. Is there any other job description in the world where you need to learn fencing and playing an instrument at the same time? Or weapon combat and ballet dancing or capoeira? What kind of job description is that? How crazy is that? How beautiful is that? Where we need to learn how to paint, at the same time we need to learn how to rap, or to fight, or how to cook, or how to memorize extensive mathematical formulas and solutions. It's so great to revolutionize your body and to question everything that you know by adding something that you never thought of would be possible to achieve or to do in the beginning, in the first place, when you started this whole thing, when you started this whole crazy and wacky endeavor. Because in the end, an actor can be a doctor, an archaeologist, a pilot, a surgeon, a mayor, a president, a governor, everything, an astronaut, whatever you want. And guess what? It really happens afterwards. I saw, and you probably too, you saw many actors dropping out of the acting business, of the acting endeavor, and starting with politics, becoming a business owner or a pilot. Craziest things, because you imitated life so much that you get acquainted with this other life so much that it feels natural to kind of transform yourself and make that transition to that other job, to that other person, to that other life. To me personally, the most interesting thing is coming back to myself, because I just love this as well as I love interpreting the other guy. I love both stages. I'm in love with acting and losing myself and diving into and acquiring different skills that will help me to manifest that imagined life. But I'm also in love with coming back to myself. Sometimes it takes a while after a very demanding or deep or heavy role. It might take a while and it leaves some scars and wounds in the process. It's not always flawless and natural without any obstacles. Sometimes it kind of leaves traces, but that's okay, that's fine. You know, I keep those traces for myself as an experience, the lessons that I've learned. And now, after acquiring all these skills, after going to the training sessions, after getting your headshots, after getting into your agency, after booking your first audition, booking your first role and playing it, after collecting your first credits, after building up your momentum, after getting noticed a little bit in the industry, building that substantial fundament that speaks for itself, speaks through your resume, through your portfolio, through the things that you're doing, after you become an actor, after you start being a professional working actor, don't stop training. After you start making money, the Benjamins, dinero, compañero, plomo, plata, what's up, gringo? After you start that, don't stop learning. Biggest mistake is people start with a lot of passion, right? They start going to these trainings and doing headshots and taking their first headshots, and you know, they get into the agency to start, you know, getting their first roles, booking the roles. They think like, oh no, I got it all figured out. This would stay forever like this. No. My friend, you have to continue relentlessly, endlessly, persistently. Go to your training, go to your rehearsals, go to the workshops, go and find a teacher, somebody who is a great coach, somebody who is a great mentor, a guru, whatever. You know, train yourself in becoming better. You will know when it's time to kind of wrap this whole thing up and just play it out. You will know, but don't get satisfied too soon. Don't close up too quickly. You know, stay in there in that active, passionate zone. That's where you get also your desire, your hunger from. If you start getting detached from the training, from the core, the essence of learning, and never stop learning, after you get detached from that, you won't see the new hot guns, the new guns coming up, and their passion and their hunger in their eyes. You can see he's out for something. He wishes something. He's desiring something. You need to have that desire in your eyes constantly. That passion, that lust, that hunger, that thirst for more. First of all, paying attention to your body, to your health, to your environment, to your hobbies, being part of a great and healthy environment, and creating that environment also for yourself at home instead of just being deranged and crazy creative artist that has no anchors in his life. You need a few anchors. You need some stability. It's okay to go crazy, but you need structure to do that. So all these things will make sure that you will avoid doing the mistakes of losing yourself in this grand and a crazy industry. Because you can. You can get lost with some projects. You can dive in and do rehearsals over rehearsal. Then you discover, okay, this is just wrong. And then you have to get back to square one. Sometimes you play 3 years in a row and then your phone doesn't work anymore. It seems like nobody's calling you anymore. And then you have to get up again and say, okay, I have to reinvent myself again. I have to acquire some new skills. I have to change my position, my branding, maybe my agency. You are always on the hunt. You're always out there, always thirsty, always evolving, always transforming yourself. Never stop learning. Never stop telling the story. That's the beauty of our business, telling a story. There's so much you can know and acquire and skills you can learn, so much craftsmanship, but in the end it's the passion of telling a remarkable story by being prepared in a unique manner. And that is up to you. You got the skills, you got the talents, everything you want. But nobody will come and knock at your door and say, hey, you have to train today. You have to be unique. Yeah, you have to be remarkably prepared for that audition. Nobody will tell you that. You have to tell yourself that. You have to be ready. And willing to give, and willing to share, and willing to make mistakes. And willing to disobey your ego and go the other way. Make some irrational choices. For yourself, instinctively, you feel what's right to you and for you. When it's time to leave and go home rather than have another drink. When it's time to say no to certain environments and friendships or temptations and to resist. When it's time to go crazy also and enjoy yourself and having a great party. By all means, you need that. You need to go crazy and let off some steam once in a while. But it's also sometimes better to kind of refuse and say, you know what, I renounce today. I will keep my energy. I will save my energy. I will go home. You know exactly when it's time to speak, when it's time to shut up, when it's time to show up, when it's time to be on time. Be punctual. Be the first. The best, that comes afterwards. But if you are the first on showing up, on being on the spot, if you are the first of learning the lines, if you are the first getting up in the morning, guess what? You'll be the first reading. And the first and the last, that's the impression that counts. That's where you're basing your career on. So be the first. Listen to yourself, listen to your heart. Evolve yourself. Dive in, because that's the ultimate liberty. I'm an actor for over 30 years now. And it never happened to me that it is this boring. Or that I feel like now it's time to do something else. I never had that feeling. Of course, I got a coach, but that was quite naturally. I became a coach quite organically. I wasn't really looking for that. Because I felt like I have something to share and people kind of picked up on that and it quite naturally happened. I'm not sick of being an actor and I never will be sick of being an actor. I love sharing. I love telling stories. And you should too. Acting is not a hobby. It's a calling. Dear acting community performers, I hope this video helped you guys to kind of understand what this business is about, where to start, how to start, to kind of navigate the first month through very dangerous waters and to kind of get an idea, a picture of the whole universe. It will be just a fraction in the beginning, but everything starts with a little mosaic piece and then it becomes a great and beautiful and outstanding art piece. In the end, then when it's complete, it's gonna be fantastic. So believe in that little piece as well as in the whole picture. But you have to start somewhere. So I hope this video helped you with that to find, your niche and your ideas and kind of, get some order into your future plans. I want to leave you with a bonus tip. Learn English or learn German or learn Italian or learn French. Learn another language. At least learn 2 other languages. I'm serious here. By the way, you might check out my Acting in English video. Acting has become a global business, an international business. We see great movies everywhere. Great projects everywhere. Very interesting characters, storytelling everywhere. Whether that's in India, whether that's in Australia, whether that's in South Africa, Nigeria, in Southern America, in Canada, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain. There are great stories everywhere. Why do you want to place yourself in just one basket? In the beginning, yeah, why not? But then once you've created that, and once you get some traction in the entertainment industry, start to look out for some other countries where you potentially might be hired too. Like I work with acting colleagues that are working in the US, as well as in Italy, as well as in Cuba, as well as in Mexico and Spain. They have multiple choices, multiple places they can go to and work. I think that's great. I think that's what life is all about. And also there is another beauty, like besides of course that you can do more projects and work more and earn more money and have more fun. Basically, acting changes accordingly to the language that you're using. Slightly, but it changes. I'm a different actor when I'm acting in English. And I'm completely different when I'm acting in German. And then again, I'm a totally different actor when I get called to an Italian movie to be part of an Italian project. It changes my behavior. It changes my demeanor. And that's so beautiful to explore, that I'm not always doing the same thing with that word. Now, all of a sudden, I start to realize this word I interpreted in this manner when I'm speaking English, and this word or this line I interpret it differently when I'm doing it in German, and again when I'm doing it in Italian. Different pockets of creativity, different versions of myself depending on which language I speak. That is totally fascinating. It started to blow my mind when I kind of realized like I'm actually better in English because I'm less influenced, because it's not my mother tongue. It's not my native tongue. I've acquired the English language. And so I'm not so heavily biased when I'm speaking English like I am when I'm speaking German, that I know since I can remember, since I'm a little kid. I grew up with German, so playing in German for me is also heavy influenced by all the things, all the information, and all the things that I notice every day. And it's so beautiful to kind of leave that behind and go somewhere where you're not influenced, where it's not polluted and contaminated by the everything happenings, by the everyday routine, where language itself is just that product of art that you acquired afterward, which is beautiful because it's so immaculate. Same thing is true for Italian, which like in theory should be my mother tongue because I'm an Italian. I was born in Italy, but I was raised in Germany. So also like the process that I did, like training again to be a great Italian speaker, so I was able to be on stage and perform auditions in a proper way, and also being an actor for feature movies, being considered for feature movies in Italian. That was a great experience for me too. It was like a renaissance of my acting skill, of my acting craft. I was reinventing myself, rediscovering myself, reproposing myself in this language. So learn a second or third language even. That is my ultimate bonus tip, because there's so many productions going on right now in this very moment all over the globe, and they need actors for that language. My second bonus tip. There's a second bonus tip? Yeah, there's a second bonus tip. Listen to music. In the beginning, when you're starting your acting endeavor, when you're starting acquiring experience, listen to some music. Music will help you massively to get in tune with the scene, with the reading process, with the monologue, with the words. Because if you have no acting experience and then all of a sudden, you know, out of your automatisms, your everyday routine, you kind of sit down at your desk and you try to be an actor, that won't work. Your brain doesn't know what's going on. You've never experienced being an actor or, you know, jumping into a different life and an imagined life, another character. And where does your brain get the information from that now it's time to kind of transform and plunge into the role? It needs a trigger, it needs a cue, it needs a switch that needs to be turned on, and that switch is music. In the beginning, listen to some music to emphasize the process of you transforming yourself, of you playing the other life, of plunging in, of diving into the other imagined life and using somebody else's shoe. Music will help you with the transition from yourself to the character, of leaving something and going somewhere else and coming back. Like understanding how that process goes, because it has a lot to do with resonance, with sound, with frequency. Even if that sounds a bit like high procedures right now, but it's so fundamental to understand music will be a great companion, a great shield, a great catalyst to make that transition, to help you kind of perform, to imagine yourself under those imaginary circumstances in that moment when you're playing out that scene. So listen to some music, some powerful music that helps you to get that idea that now it's time to do something else. So your brain gets activated, gets the cue, gets the switch, and knows exactly, now we're doing something different. It's not the automatism. Because if you have no experience, it's really hard to kind of making that transition so flawlessly, right? Maybe you're super talented. And then for you, it's no problem to kind of jump into the roles. That might be. But even if you're super talented, music will help you immensely. It will boost you even more to kind of get into and dive into the character even deeper. So, I guess this video is finished, guys. I thank you so much for sticking with us till the end. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment what you thought of this. If this video had any value to you, make sure to smash the like button. And join the notification squad by smashing the bell as well. Jump to my Instagram account, it's thecoachmc, or to my website, it's thecoachmc.studio if you want to book a one-to-one session with me. If you want to have a great and amazing Zoom class talking about your performance, your skills, your presentation skills, whatever you got in mind. If you got a great self-tip coming up or a great casting call coming up, of course, just call me up. I'm your man. I guess that's it for today. So now you're ready to perform.